Okay, guys, so hopefully this is our last video explaining how to use Class Dojo, why we're using it, and all of those type of questions that you may have. So as I've said in other videos, the main reason is to keep data on behaviors. Generally in the past we just kept data on consequences. So of course this is positive and negative consequences in this type data setup. So hopefully you're looking for student successes and you're trying to award them those things. But in the consequence side, the negative consequence side, we're hoping in PBIS to look at 3 targeted behaviors is what we want to call them a month. And we sent you guys a little survey while we were at the training. We sent the teachers a little survey just trying to get some feedback on the behaviors that they see that they would like to target. Excuse me. And so I want to show you some of those targeted behaviors. To get signed up, you should have an email from me on your email account, or if you're 7th grade, I think that email would be from Vicky. And once you get those emails, then you would take, I already have all the 8th grade students in. Vicky has all of the 7th grade students in. So you can see here that myself and Misty both have our 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th blocks in here. So when you create yours, you would go to all 8th grade students and then you would create groups. And make sure you put your first name before the block. So Jones first, Jones second, Jones third, fourth, whatever name you give it. Just make sure you put your last name or some kind of indication that it belongs to you. That way, for example, if I'm in the hallway and Billy out of Misty's 2nd block class comes yelling, screaming down the hallway, I can go to her 2nd block and find, let's just say it was Ernest, and then I can click on Ernest and give him a negative consequence for that. Now, I can also, if somebody out of our 3rd block was in the hallway helping one of my students pick up their books, then I can go ahead and give that person a positive consequence. But our targeted behaviors, let me click on my 1st block here, and I want to show you. So I'd have this pulled up on my cell phone. I'll go ahead and have my 1st block open. And so since Allison's there handy, we'll click on Allison. So being responsible is one that we've targeted and we've added. So that would be that you brought everything that you needed to class. Let's see, proper cafeteria procedures is what we've called this one. So that means that you take your tray at the very end when the teacher tells you that it's time to leave. And the second part of that is that wherever you sit down at the beginning of lunch is where you stay. You're not up out of your seat roaming around the cafeteria talking to other people. Sit with your group and stay there. Proper hallway procedures, that if you are going down the hallway, you're on the right hand side of the hallway as you're moving. That just like traffic on a highway. That keeps things flowing, and then if a teacher needs to be walking, that they can stay with that flow, or they can go down the center of the hallway. And then if you're waiting on a class, you're waiting on trying to go into a class, you're waiting outside the door on the correct side of the hallway with a proper voice level. And that kind of stuff, that's basically our first 3 targeted behaviors. Being responsible, so you're being prepared for class, proper cafeteria procedures, proper hallway procedures. So to set this up for success, then we need to talk about these 3 things in our classes. Use the same language and and let them know that, hey, this is what I'm looking for here. This is what I'm looking for here. This is what I'm looking for here. And also, to go with that, let me go back out of this for a second. Down here in our toolkit for the timer, what I can do, or what we can do is, as groups of teachers in the middle school, is agree upon a set amount of time for, to say, as soon as the bell rings, I'm going to put a timer on here for, let's just say, 3 minutes. At the end of that timer, you should be in the next class, in your seat, ready to go by the time that timer goes off. And if not, then you're not being responsible. And I'm gonna dock you 1 point. Okay? And that, I think if we were to do that, we'd get our transition times significantly lowered, and we would gain some time in our instruction time in our classes. So let me get this going. And I want to show you some of the negative behaviors, the negative targeted behaviors that we're looking at, which generally are the opposite of the positive behaviors.